Good afternoon. Today I want us to take a moment and use our imaginations. Imagine you're having a buffet of food given to you at your leisure, relaxing in a big comfy bed, not worrying about where you will sleep or what you will eat tomorrow. Now, let's look at the other end of the spectrum. Imagine a place that looks like these pictures, where poverty is on the rise. People have no place to sleep and nothing to eat. Their children are not getting the best education. They are working to survive because the next day they may have nothing. These pictures may come to a surprise to some, but Brazilians live in these conditions every day. Some of us can relate and say that this happens in the United States. But the United States is where it's supposed to make everyone come here for equal opportunities. So this made me want to research how other countries experience poverty much more worse than we ever could. I chose to research Brazil because I have many family friends that is from this country. I have done extensive research on this topic, and I want to inform you how education, occupational status, and income affect the inequality of poverty in Brazil. As Sarah Smeisler explained in her book, Poverty in Brazil, despite positive economic growth, Brazil still shows high rates of poverty. However, poverty does not affect Brazilian population equally. Education may have played a huge role in this because the more educated a person is, the more they are able to have power over the unknowledgeable and force them to abide by certain rules. These rules normally help the educated and puts down the uneducated. The webpage Brazil Factoid explains that the lack of education and professional qualifications make it difficult for companies to gain employees. Even though there are many jobs in Brazil, Brazilians are still jobless because they do not have the necessary skills to obtain the job. This affects their occupational status greatly. Education and occupational status goes hand in hand. Therefore, if you're lacking in one, you may not be able to obtain the other. Without the proper education, you are not going to be able to be on the high end of occupational status. In the magazine Internal Voices, Fighting Against Poverty, published in 2007, it states that Brazilian society has to face the lack of access to formal education and skill training. The poor remains poor because they do not have the education to get a well-paid job. Occupational status definitely has a hand in why so many Brazilians are suffering from poverty. Without a proper education, they are not going to be able to obtain a job that pays well. These Brazilians in poverty will mostly work at factories or construction sites. These jobs can be very dangerous, but they have to risk their lives every day so that they can provide for their family. Most of us can relate to how we would do anything that we had to do to survive or to make sure our loved ones were taken care of. Lastly, income plays a huge role in poverty because in our world, money makes the world go round. And whoever has the biggest amount, their opinions matter more, even if they are not the majority. In every society, the majority does not truly matter, but what the rich people want. Inequality is definitely present when dealing with social issues in Brazil. If you do not have lump sums of money, then the people who do will make the decision for what is best for you, even if they have never lived in your shoes and know your problems. Taxes are constantly being made, and Brazilians who are not wealthy are suffering the price. Therefore, the poor get poorer and the rich get richer. According to the Gini Coefficient Index, the poorest population of the country receives less than 1.2% of the nation's income. This may or may not come to a surprise. However, the government is working on establishing programs that will bring the